The cafe was a sanctuary of clinking mugs and soft chatter until a piercing scream shattered the calm. A woman's cry, raw and desperate, cut through the air as she was dragged toward the door, her heels scraping the wooden floor. A man's voice, low and thunderous, froze everyone in their seats. "Touch my wife again, and you'll regret it." All eyes turned to a lone figure standing by the counter, a single dad, his fists clenched, his daughter clutching his leg. What happened next wasn't just a fight, it was a story of love, loss, and a promise that refused to break. Stay with me, because this is a tale that'll grip your heart and never let go. The cafe smelled of fresh coffee and warm pastries, a cozy haven in the small town of Willow Creek. Ethan Carter stood at the counter, balancing a tray of muffins and a hot chocolate for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, who was coloring at their usual corner table. His rugged face, etched with lines from years of sleepless nights, softened when he glanced at her. Lily's crayons danced across the paper, her tongue poking out in concentration. It was their Saturday ritual, a slice of normalcy after the world had taken so much from them. 2 years ago, Ethan's wife, Sarah, vanished. Not in the way people usually mean, there was no accident, no note, no closure. One day, she was there, kissing Lily goodnight, the next, she was gone. The police called it a runaway case, citing her history of anxiety and a few whispered arguments. Ethan never believed it. Sarah was his anchor, the woman who'd laughed through his terrible cooking and held his hand when Lily was born. She wouldn't leave them. Not willingly. But life didn't stop to wait for answers. Ethan, a mechanic by trade, became both mom and dad to Lily. He learned to braid hair, pack lunches, and dodge questions about where mommy went. The cafe was their escape, a place where Lily could smile without the weight of absence. Until today. The scream came from the back of the cafe. Ethan's head snapped up, his heart lurching as he recognized the voice. It couldn't be. He dropped the tray, muffins tumbling to the floor, and pushed through the crowd. There, near the exit, was Sarah, his Sarah, her dark hair tangled, her eyes wild with fear. A man in a black jacket had her by the arm, yanking her toward the door. She struggled, her voice breaking as she called out, "Ethan." The world slowed. Ethan's pulse roared in his ears. Lily's small hand tugged at his jeans, her voice trembling, "Daddy, is that mommy?" He didn't answer. He couldn't. Every instinct screamed to act. He crossed the cafe in 3 strides, shoving past stunned customers. "Let her go," he said, his voice low but carrying the weight of a man who'd lost everything once and wouldn't again. The man in the jacket sneered, tightening his grip on Sarah. "Stay out of this, pal. She's coming with me." "Touch my wife again, and you'll regret it," Ethan said, stepping closer. Lily clung to his leg, her crayons scattered on the floor. The cafe went silent, every eye on the standoff. Sarah's gaze locked with Ethan's, and in that moment, he saw it, the spark of the woman he loved, buried under fear and something he couldn't name. The man laughed, a cold, sharp sound, and pulled Sarah harder. Ethan moved without thinking, grabbing the man's wrist. The struggle was quick, messy. A chair toppled, a glass shattered. Ethan's fist connected with the man's jaw, and he stumbled, releasing Sarah. She fell against Ethan, her breath ragged. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I didn't want to leave you." Before Ethan could process her words, the man scrambled to his feet, spitting blood. "This isn't over," he snarled, then bolted out the door. Ethan held Sarah close, Lily wrapping her arms around them both. The cafe patrons stared, some reaching for their phones, others whispering. Ethan didn't care. His family was whole again, at least for this moment. But questions burned in his mind. Where had Sarah been? Who was that man? And why did her eyes hold secrets she wasn't ready to share? The police station was cold, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead as Ethan sat across from Officer Daniels, a grizzled veteran who'd known him since high school. Sarah was in another room, giving her statement, while Lily colored in the waiting area, her small frame curled in a chair. Ethan's hands shook as he recounted the cafe incident, his voice steady but his heart in knots. "Ethan, you sure that was Sarah?" Daniels asked, leaning back. "I mean, after 2 years, people change. And you said she didn't explain much." "It was her," Ethan said firmly. "I'd know her anywhere." But doubt gnawed at him. The Sarah he'd held in the cafe was thinner, her eyes haunted, her hands trembling in a way they never had before. When he'd asked where she'd been, she'd only shaken her head, tears spilling. "Not now, Ethan. Please." The police tracked down the man in the jacket, Vincent Cole, a lowlife with a rap sheet for petty theft and extortion. He'd fled town, but his car was spotted near the highway. No one knew his connection to Sarah, and she wasn't talking. Daniels warned Ethan to stay out of it, to let the law handle things. But Ethan couldn't sit still. Not when Sarah was finally back, and not when Lily kept asking, "Is Mommy staying this time?" That night, in their small apartment, Ethan tucked Lily into bed. She clutched her stuffed rabbit, her eyes wide. "Daddy, why was Mommy scared?" Ethan's throat tightened. "I don't know, sweetheart. But I'm gonna keep her safe. You too." He kissed her forehead, but his mind was elsewhere. Sarah was in the living room, staring out the window, her knees pulled to her chest. She looked so small, so unlike the vibrant woman who'd once danced with him in the kitchen. "Sarah," he said softly, sitting beside her. "You gotta tell me what happened. Where you've been. Who that guy was." She flinched, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. "I can't, Ethan. Not yet. It's too much. Too much." His voice rose, frustration breaking through. "You left us, Sarah. 2 years. Lily cried herself to sleep every night. I thought you were dead. And now you're here, but you won't talk. I deserve to know." Her eyes met his, glistening with tears. "I didn't leave you. Not by choice. I was taken." The word hit like a punch. Taken? By who? That guy in the cafe? She shook her head, her voice dropping to a whisper. "It's bigger than him. I got out, but they're still out there. If I tell you everything, they'll come for me. For you. For Lily." Ethan's blood ran cold. He wanted to press her, to demand answers, but the fear in her eyes stopped him. Instead, he pulled her into his arms, holding her like he had 1,000 times before. "No one's taking you again," he said. "I swear it." But sleep didn't come easy. Ethan lay awake, staring at the ceiling, Sarah's words echoing. Taken. Bigger than him. What had she been through? And how could he protect his family when he didn't know what he was fighting? Days turned into weeks, and Sarah's presence was both a blessing and a weight. She laughed with Lily, helped with breakfast, even hummed old songs while washing dishes. But there were moments, when a car backfired or a stranger lingered too long outside, when her face would pale, her hands shaking. Ethan saw it, and it tore at him. He wanted to fix it, to make her whole again, but every time he asked for the truth, she shut down. He started digging on his own. Late at night, after Lily was asleep, Ethan scoured the internet, piecing together what he could. Vincent Cole wasn't just a thug, he was tied to a network of loan sharks and traffickers operating out of nearby cities. Ethan's stomach churned as he read about women who'd vanished, only to turn up years later, or not at all. Was Sarah one of them? Had she been caught in something he couldn't imagine? One evening, while Sarah was reading to Lily, Ethan found a burner phone hidden in her jacket. His heart sank. He confronted her after Lily was in bed, holding the phone like evidence. "What's this, Sarah? Who are you calling?" Her face crumpled. "It's not what you think. I was trying to protect you." Protect me. By lying. By keeping secrets. His voice shook. I can't do this if you don't trust me. She sank onto the couch, tears streaming. I was trying to get out, Ethan. 2 years ago, I borrowed money. It was stupid, but I thought I could handle it. We were drowning in bills, and you were working double shifts. I didn't want to burden you. But they didn't just want the money back. They wanted me. Ethan's fists clenched. Who's they? A group. They move people, drugs, anything that makes money. Vincent was just one of their enforcers. I tried to run, but they found me. Kept me locked away. I escaped 3 weeks ago, but they're still looking. He stared at her, the pieces falling into place. The fear, the silence, the man in the cafe. Why didn't you tell me? Because they threatened you and Lily, she sobbed. If I went to the police, they'd know. They have people everywhere. I came back because I couldn't stay away any longer. But I've put you both in danger. Ethan knelt before her, taking her hands. We're in this together now. No more secrets. The next day, he called Daniels, laying out everything Sarah had told him. The officer's face was grim. This is bigger than us, Ethan. I'll pass it to the feds, but you need to lay low. Keep Sarah and Lily safe. Ethan nodded, but he knew laying low wasn't enough. He installed new locks, kept a bat by the door, and never let Lily out of his sight. But the fear lingered, a shadow over every moment. The call came on a rainy Tuesday. Daniel's voice was urgent. We got Vincent. Feds raided a warehouse last night. Found evidence, documents, recordings. They're dismantling the network. Sarah's name came up. She's clear, Ethan. They don't need her to testify. Relief flooded Ethan, but it was tempered by the scars left behind. Sarah was safe, but the years apart had changed them both. She carried guilt for the choices that led to her capture, he carried the weight of not knowing, of failing to protect her. They started therapy, both together and alone, unraveling the pain and rebuilding trust. Lily, resilient as ever, seemed to heal fastest, her laughter filling the apartment again. One Saturday, they returned to the cafe. The same wooden floors, the same warm smells. Lily ran to their corner table, crayons in hand. Sarah hesitated at the door, her hand in Ethan's. You okay? He asked. She nodded, a small smile breaking through. I'm home. They sat together, a family pieced back together, not perfect but whole. Ethan watched Sarah laugh at Lily's drawing, and for the first time in years, he felt hope. They'd faced the worst, fear, loss, betrayal, and come out stronger. As the cafe's lights glowed against the dusk, Ethan, Sarah, and Lily walked home, hand in hand. They weren't just survivors of a nightmare, they were proof that love can endure the darkest storms. This story isn't just about a single dad's fight or a woman's escape, it's about the promises we keep, even when the world tries to break them. So, ask yourself, what would you do for the ones you love? Hold them close, because sometimes, that's the greatest fight of all. If this story moved you, share it, and let's remind the world that hope always finds a way.